The cultural sector occupies a really important place in society. Places like the Museum of Childhood behind me can be spaces where people can explore what their contribution to society is and how they can be creative agents in shaping the world we all want to live in. Then that's a much more exciting and creative place and generative place for us to be than if we see these places just as kind of visitor attractions where we come for a bit of passing entertainment. But also in that process we can make them much better sources of entertainment. We can have a lot more fun doing it that way. And that's what we've been exploring over the past year. Participation is something that people have been talking about in the sector for a long time. But what is different is that too often participation has been allowed to get co-opted and be a word that's just used to mean doing stuff at the edges. It's become a nice to have, a little thing that one team can do or one person can do. And actually what this work is about is going real, true, deep participation needs to start with the strategy and the purpose of an organisation. And fundamentally, if you take only one thing away from the work that we've been doing, take this question. What is your organisation trying to do in the world that's so big you need people, you need more people and more diverse people to enable you to do it? Because that's where purposeful participation starts, when you're asking what is it we're trying to do, not just saying what are we doing and what are the little projects that people can be involved in around the edges, when you start right at the core.
I think one of the things that will definitely stay with me was just the first workshop meeting all the individuals from different organisations across the sector and realising that they have loads of stuff in common. They're all sort of wanting to do stuff in a different way, but weren't quite sure where to start, and that moment of connection between all 12 people was really super powerful.
I describe the concept of purposeful participation as truly recognising the value of people as individuals' opinions, experiences and thoughts, really recognising that we've all got something truly valuable to contribute.
I think it's really important that when we talk about participants, we're not talking about people that we're doing things to, that they're actually part of that process.
I think participation, for me, the key word I always come back to is with. So it's what can you do with someone? And that's been really helpful for us to answer more, deeper questions of the work we're currently doing in the public programme.
I think it's about moving away from us as experts imparting knowledge. It's about bringing the sense of what is important for people and communities into the way we work. And ultimately the outcomes are better both for the participant and ourselves.
The toolkit has got some really interesting stuff in it, some really exciting tools for people to use and work with, from a tool about purposeful questions, how to articulate a question for your organisation, through to a personal profile, a set of characteristics that people who are going to do this kind of work are really going to need.
Being a cultural entrepreneur to me is that persistence, is kind of keeping that energy going, bringing people along with you, supporting how people make decisions, supporting people that are more reluctant to work in this way, but trying not to be kind of on a soapbox about it or get too sort of run down when people don't kind of agree straight off with how you're thinking.
It's quite a good way to look at, things that could become a bit routine and a bit kind of that kind of project view is kind of how work can sometimes feel. It does kind of make you look at what are the opportunities here and what can we do that's a bit different.
Being confident about what we do and not being frightened by the preciousness of what we look after. And realising that you're not going to change the world overnight, but that starting small and working through the process will really make a difference.
Really recognise at the beginning of the process that this is how I wanted to work and this is how we needed to work, not just because it sounds good, but because this is how our organisation is going to be sustainable moving forward.
On the one hand, it sounds really big and there are big questions in there. On the other hand, it's really easy just to start and try something out.
This activity is going on throughout the sector, and there are so many benefits, even from a sort of narrow commercial point of view, never mind a cultural point of view. So start small, start somewhere, but this is vitally important work that will only grow.
What I would love to see happening from here is the cultural heritage sector sort of really leading the way for this way of working, championing it and sort of inspiring other people to get going. I'm excited by what other people inside the sector can learn from one another, because I think too often we're like, I'm at this theatre, I'm in this company, I'm part of this gallery, but I'm like, what could I learn from all these different people that will make the work even better?